Hey, and we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and today we're talking about Alan Wake 2. This is a game a lot of people have been waiting for a long time. It's a game that the developers, Remedy, here have been also wanting to make for a long time. And we finally got it. And just to rip the band-aid off here, not waste your time, this game, in my opinion, was worth the wait. If you like single-player adventures, some survival horror, or most importantly, just other Remedy games like Control or Max Payne or Alan Wake or Quantum Break, then this is the game for you. A couple of small things to acknowledge here and there, but otherwise, Alan Wake 2 is an uncompromising and thrilling ride. It doesn't hold your hand, it can be scary, quirky, challenging, and weirdly beautiful. And of course, the housekeeping, just so you know, we've been playing a review copy, and this footage has been captured on PC and is spoiler-free. I'll talk more about the technical stuff down the line, but everything you see on screen is either stuff already shown in previews or within the first 2-3 hours of the game, so you're good. And also, just for context, my bias, I've been a big fan of Remedy games from the beginning, so I'm going in with that perspective. And I'll talk about the newcomer experience if you're new to this stuff in a little bit. But this is a follow-up to Alan Wake from 2010, with a dash of Control and Remedy's fun, cinematic universe. The mystery drops you into the shoes of two characters, in two kind of twisty-turny campaigns that intersect, and you can kind of choose the cadence of whose you progress through at certain points. So there's Saga Anderson, the FBI agent. She's someone who can seemingly solve any mystery. It's kind of a superpower. She acts as the newcomer to all this craziness, having no idea what's going on. She kind of acts as the straight man, the normal human person to kind of anchor the chaos of this world. She's in the Northwest in the small town of course, Bright Falls, with her partner investigating mysterious culty murders, and her story crosses paths with that of author Alan Wake, who has been missing for a bunch of years. Alan Wake's sections in the game are in this nightmarish, twisted, grimy, horror noir version of New York, and it is absolutely perfect. It's tense, terrifying, confusing, and visually stunning, where Saga's sections are often in beautifully rendered, creepy atmospheric woods and detailed small American towns. So you get a lot of really great influences here. A dash of Twin Peaks here, a little True Detective there, a little Max Payne nightmare scenes, throw in some Silence of the Lambs, but it all molds together to become its own unique, weird adventure. Unlike the first Alan Wake, this is more of a survival horror game. So to make kind of a reductive comparison, I would say it feels like the original Alan Wake with you blasting shadow enemies with a flashlight and a gun, but it now plays more like Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remake and just feels way better. You're usually only squaring off against a few enemies at once, and they can be challenging. You will die. There's also a little dodge and a weak melee just to kind of use in a pinch. They feel fine, but it's all really about keeping your wits and managing your resources. Because in true survival horror fashion here, resources like ammo and health and flashlight batteries and your own personal inventory are pretty limited, so you really need to pick your shots carefully. Enemies are designed to specifically mess with you, and I really like it. Every single one is unpredictable. Just when you think you know what one is gonna do, it teleports to you instantly, or it runs away, or it throws something at you. You kind of always feel like you're on the back foot, desperate, and you can get flustered if you waste some bullets on a disappearing apparition of an enemy, or just a run-of-the-mill enemy. You thought it was just going to be a generic encounter, and you totally get screwed. It's all just good, stressful survival horror stuff. The flashlight to open a weak spot, to then shotgun or pistol blast to the face, isn't the most complex gameplay in the world. It's actually pretty simple when you boil it down, but the shots feel good and satisfying, and the survival horror tension just works really well here. But the real meat of the game is adventuring and exploring and figuring shit out. So Saga's whole part is really straight up detective work. You're talking to people and looking for clues and moving the mystery forward in between blasting bad guys. And with the press of a button, you can, instead of the game pausing, you actually instantly teleport to Saga's mind. It's kind of like a hub pause menu, but where you can actually walk around in this cozy log cabin. Here, you can look at the map, you can walk around, you can read up on suspect profiles and link things together. There's an entire evidence board kind of thing you can walk up to and post photos on the walls, put up little notes, post-it notes, and use red string to tie clues together and piece things together. It really feels like detective work without being too intense. It's not Detective Simulator where you need to completely deduce the mystery on your own. It kind of serves as a good way to unfold things and explain things to you, and it still gives you the satisfaction of figuring things out without you getting stuck too much. It's really natural feeling and organic in a way I haven't really seen in another game. And then Alan has his own place he can instantly warp to at any time too. It's like his little writer's room. And in here, you can walk up to a board and change and rewrite scenes in the game. There are certain environmental puzzles centered around Alan figuring something out, then bringing up the board and then click and then start rewriting a scene, which happens in real time right in front of you. Alan will go, the scene needs to be different. It needs to go like this. And then there's some visual effects on screen and the sound of him typing, and then suddenly a flash and the entire environment is totally different. Doors are open, things are blocked, blood is everywhere, lights are on, crazy stuff's going on, all kinds of cool tricks happening right in front of you as you piece together scenes to progress. Some of these moments can be pretty challenging, and the game does not hold your hand with figuring it out. I really like the challenge here, and with all the different types of puzzles. But with these in particular, I did find one or two parts here and there that I wasn't necessarily stumped on, mechanically. I just couldn't figure out what the game was going for, what it wanted me to do. Some people may struggle with this, so I just wanted to give you the heads up. Even if sometimes I found things a bit too unclear, I like the challenge, and I really like the spectacle of it. It does stuff you don't normally see in a video game, especially with the fact that Alan also has his own special device that uses light to essentially instantly change scenes in front of you. So not only are you rewriting scenes in certain environments to put things together and progress the story, but you're also just kind of using an instant switch flick to change things in front of you to navigate. It sounds like a lot, and for a second it's tough to grab, but it works. You'll pick it up. And speaking of the characters jumping to the mind place thing, these rooms are also where you upgrade yourself. So Alan has kind of hidden things you find in the environment that grant him certain buffs and bonuses when you unlock them, and Saga finds collectibles in the environment that serve as points to spend on weapon upgrades. Now, in here, like I said, you're also catching up on files and stuff and doing detective stuff, looking back at what you found, and you can also view some of the really hilarious live-action TV commercials they filmed for the games. Remedy has been playing with radio and TV and visual meta stuff in their games since Max Payne 1, and it's nice to see it come this far and just be really funny and trippy and dumb. I love it. And speaking of that, the game visually does some really clever things with live action. Live action scenes will be projected on walls in front of you, characters will transition from video gamey to live action. There are all sorts of tricks and surprises like this throughout that are number one, cool, but also number two, visually out of this world. The game does a really good job with great immersive environments and sounds. Breezy woods at night, wet small town streets, nightmare worlds, Shining-esque hallways, voices calling your name in the distance. There's a lot. And all of it plays with bold color and really good light and shadows where you actually feel like something could jump out at you. The game is scarier than the original Alan Wake and all Remedy games, I think, but it's not going to leave you with nightmares. It's like a good happy medium. It is horror, but it still prioritizes atmosphere and tension and story over moment-to-moment scares. There are certain sequences that rely on flash jump scares a bit too much for my liking, but I can't argue with the fact that they look good and they are effective, at least. There are also multiple creative moments in the game that might top the ashtray maze in Control for some people, just saying. good, memorable stuff. And while visually, I keep saying the game looks great, just keep in mind, I only had access to the PC version here. I can't speak on console versions just yet. The PC version did have some crazy high system specs, but after diving in, it actually seems to have underpromised, kind of over-delivered a little bit, because it's fairly scalable. Frame drops you see on screen here and there are really because I'm running it on a low-end machine in spots to see how it does, and I found it playable. Other than that, I did have a few visual bugs, and 2 times I got stuck in the game's geometry and I had to reload. Now, stuff is getting fixed in a day 1 patch and beyond. They're already on it, but they can't get everything, and I saw the occasional glitch. So it's just something to let you guys know and be prepared. Not falling apart, but little things here and there, especially a bit further in the game. Now, that newcomer experience, the question I'm going to keep getting, can you play this game without playing the first Alan Wake? I think so. Yeah, you get way more enjoyment if you're all in, though. Maybe watch a YouTube video to catch up, but I think the game does a good job of at least somewhat onboarding. You'll be confused, but I think the game is interesting and unique enough that people will play it and understand the base through-line story, which does get pretty weird and complicated, but with all the surrounding stuff, I think they'll be enticed enough to dive in deeper with the developers' previous games, just because of all this fun, strange stuff sprinkled throughout. If you are a Remedy Games fan, though, hell, maybe even just like a Sam Lake fan with some of the stuff they do here, there's just a lot in this game that will make you happy. More than 20 hours of fun and a new Game Plus mode coming to it soon. So the only other negative, and I wish more reviewers spoke to this, there's no physical version of the game right now. You can't go buy it on a shelf. I like physical games, and I do think this is a miss. They have, at least, like the developers and publisher, have been forthcoming about this. We knew this. They explained their rationale. But I really, really hope a publisher at some point puts this out in a physical box, because I enjoyed the game enough that I want to display it on my shelf. And I think that says a lot. These are the games I love. Single player adventure games, cool action, weird mysteries, survival horror, and they nailed it here. If I put my diehard Max Payne fanboyness aside, then I can say this is Remedy's best game yet. But of course, that's a before you buy. You know how this goes by now. I give you some pros, some cons, some personal opinion, and now I want to hear yours down in the comments. If you're jumping in right away at launch and you're playing the console versions, would love to hear your experiences with that. If you're playing on PC, would love to know how your deal is, because it might be different for everybody. But also, let's just talk Remedy and your experience with Alan Wake and the developer's previous games. Your expectations, your hopes and dreams. Did you love Control as much as we did? Let's talk about anything with this down in the comments. And of course, you can always find me at Jake Baldino on YouTube and social media. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for a great spooky season. Hoping you're having a great one. Clicking the like button does help us out if we informed you or you appreciated this gameplay. But that's really it. Spiel over. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.